Qore, presented by the PlayStation Network. I'm Veronica Belmont, and we are in Vegas, baby! But don't get too excited, because we are fast-forwarding to a futuristic, post-apocalyptic Vegas, where mutants and cannibals will be trying to get an even bigger piece of you than any casino. That's right, it's time to start placing bets on how well you'll survive in the nuclear wasteland in Fallout New Vegas. With some particularly tasty new perks, and a whole slew of new guns and ways to shred mutants, all that radiation poisoning will be totally worth it. Don't forget to try your luck with our Fallout New Vegas slot machine. Everybody's a winner. And talk about a jackpot. How about zombies? In Dead Rising 2, you'll be facing thousands of the undead at a time as you make your way through the hotels and casinos of the Vegas-like Fortune City. And if the zombies don't get you, the government will.
Whoa, hold on a second, son. Don't worry, I've got Zombrex.
You don't get to play as a zombie in Enslaved, but your brain doesn't completely belong to you in this game either.
Get this thing off.
No. As Monkey, controlled via electronic headband by the Techno-Wiz Trip, you traverse a futuristic Earth in search of your freedom. Keep an eye open for Max. Then join us in On the Road with Qore as we head to the real Las Vegas. We'll show you how geeks like us survive the blistering desert heat. And we'll bust a few caps at zombies, just to show them who's boss. And if playing The End of the World wasn't enough, how about watching it? Audrey has her top 5 picks for the best post-apocalyptic movies on Blu-ray. All this and more in episode 28 of Qore, presented by the PlayStation Network. I'll see you on the inside.
Happy birthday.
With the release of 2008's award-winning Fallout 3, gamers had to learn to survive in a retro-futuristic, post-apocalyptic Washington, D.C. Players forged their own way in the wasteland full of mutants, cannibals, and freaks. But out west, you'll be gambling with your life. Grab your shotgun and stim packs. We're headed to New Vegas. It seems like Las Vegas kind of maintained pretty well throughout the apocalypse. How did it kind of protect itself?
The Las Vegas area was not hit by nukes, and there's a reason for that, and the player will actually kind of uncover the reasons why Las Vegas and Hoover Dam, which is the reason why the area has power, were never hit by nukes during the Great War.
Can you tell us anything about the main character and what his quest is?
You play a courier who is carrying something, and exactly what he's carrying is part of the storyline.
You've made your last delivery, kid. Sorry you got twisted up in this scene.
When the game opens, you're shot in the head and buried alive in the Mojave Wasteland. And so why you were shot, what you were carrying, the reasons behind all this are the first half of the storyline.
It's still early, so the devs can't spill the beans just yet. Here's a closer look at what we've seen that's got us drooling for the October 19th release. We can already tell there's lots to do on the strip, but it looks like Vault 21 is right here. I wonder what other vaults might be around. Could there possibly be any Area 51-style secret military installations out there? And judging by the dynamite and what seems to be a mine, we'll be spending some time underground, which usually has some pretty creepy stuff going on. But the biggest adventure is the journey inward.
So traits are something when you create your character, you can choose 3 of them. And it's kind of a unique way of customizing your character. So each one of them has a benefit to it, but also a negative. We want players to really customize the way they play the game. We want them to, to be evil. If they really want to be evil, we want to let them be as evil as possible. If they want to play good, we want to play as good as possible.
We had all sorts of crazy characters in Fallout 3. How do you take it to the next level of menacing people that are populating this environment?
Our 2 biggest factions in the game are the New California Republic, who are, I suppose, the good faction. We don't really have good and evil factions in that way. Everybody's kind of a little both. And then on the other side, we have Caesar's Legion, which is our evil, slaving group. They're kind of the pseudo-Roman military faction. So they're pretty bad, but we allow the player, of course, to be as evil as they want to be. If you want to, you can kill literally every single character in the entire game.
But it's not always who you kill, but how it satisfies. The Vault-Tec Assisted Targeting System, or VATS, lets you pause time and target body parts of enemies, with glorious results.
We've added things to VATS like melee special moves. So there's a weapon called the 9-iron, which is a giant golf club. And when using VATS, you can use a special move, which is called Qore, and it's a big giant swing. You really just swing over it, and you can actually lop a guy's head off if you're really good with it.
Sweet!
We've also added enhancements to real-time combat for people who want to play it more like a first-person shooter.
I see you have a double-headed bear shirt on right now. Are the animals just as affected in New Vegas?
They are. So yes, the two-headed bear is the new California Republic. We have lots of mutated animals. We brought back geckos from Fallout 2. We have night stalkers, which are rattlesnake dogs.
When you're working with Fallout like that, the possibilities are endless
Exactly.
when it comes to radiation.
I don't know who came up with the night stalkers, but that was a good one.
What about the big guns? What are some of the big, giant guns that you can tell us about?
Our biggest gun is actually an orbital laser that you can get a portable targeting computer for.
So you just have like a control system and you can
Yeah,
mark.
and big giant explosion happens. Nothing's really going to top that, but we do have a grenade machine gun. It's exactly what it sounds like, and it's based on a real weapon. This actually does exist.
The wide variety of weapons give you plenty of ways to delight in destruction, but the devs wanted to include everything else fans wanted.
So some of the things we've added based on fan feedback are weapon mods, actually. So every weapon in the game can have 3 individual mods to it. So you can add things like a scope. You can add, we have different ammo types. It's another idea that came from the fan community. So you can get hollow point bullets for armor piercing. You can get incendiary grenades, so you can set guys on fire. We really paid attention to our fans because they're so passionate about the game.
Since it is Las Vegas, or New Vegas rather, I imagine there's going to be some pretty awesome mini games.
Yeah, we do have fully functioning casinos. Like I said, nukes never hit the Las Vegas area, so we have these casinos, and within those casinos you can play blackjack, you can play roulette, you can play slot machines, and all those things. It's a fully functioning casino. You win, and you get comped, and you get a room, and eventually you can get banned from each of the casinos.
But getting banned from a casino is the least of your concerns, and we bet you'll be up to much worse than cheating at the tables. And isn't that what makes Fallout games so great? I mean, if this is wrong, I don't want to be right. We just can't wait to get to New Vegas and meet all those quirky and disturbing inhabitants, and kill them. Fortune City, Nevada. Full of tourists, high rollers, and risk takers. All of them pressing their luck. But for protagonist, motocross champ Chuck Green, the stakes couldn't be any higher. This being a sequel, the zombie slaughter is ramped up and even more ridiculous. Dead Rising 2. Things start out normal enough. Green is competing in a game show called Terror is Reality, where contestants slaughter zombies. Think of it as a sort of American Gladiators for the undead.
The ladies were a little disappointed in your performance tonight, Chuck.
But when zombies break loose, Green is left to his own devices, fending for his life.
Oh God, stop! Stop!
Fortunately, the devices he's been left with are perfect for smashing skulls. And did we mention you have a little daughter to protect? And that little Katie has a nasty bite mark on her arm?
Listen, it's an existing condition, all right? It's okay, it happened a long time ago. It's only a matter of time before she turns.
Big daddy that you are, you gotta make that boo-boo better. With Zombrex, which is the only thing that can stop her from being zombified.
Where are you gonna get it, Dad?
You let me worry about that, okay, kiddo?
Zombrex ain't cheap, but luckily there are plenty of ways to earn that paper in Fortune City, so you can get your baby girl's meds stat.
Bingo!
While you're busy trying to paint the town red in zombie guts and save your daughter, you also need to figure out what caused this outbreak. Because somehow, everyone thinks it was your fault.
What?
Green, a member of the zombie rights protest group.
You only have 72 hours to straighten this out and clear your name.
Did you have something to do with this?
No way, not in your life.
Naturally, this makes it harder for other survivors to trust you. Like you don't have enough problems.
I'll make you a deal. You keep rounding folks up, you can keep coming and going. You die out there, and we'll have to leave it to the devil to sort you out.
Just like any zombie apocalypse, you can use anything not nailed down as a weapon. Trash cans, axes, chairs, all perfectly useful. But wait, there's more. This time, you can MacGyver up your own zombicidal weapons by combining different found items together. If you see that wrench icon on an item, it can be combined with another to make all kinds of deadly contraptions.
Damn straight.
Some of our favorites? Go medieval on their ass with the baseball bat and nails combo. The Defiler is a doozy, marrying an axe and a sledgehammer. Kapow! Wolverine would love the knife gloves, made by combining a Bowie knife and boxing gloves. Ouch. For sports fans, combine a football and a grenade for a deadly Hail Mary. And since everyone does love explosions, grab a pipe and some fireworks. Instant rocket launcher. Shredding zombies with these artful creations earns you even more prestige points than normal, meaning faster leveling and more weapon combinations to unlock. Our only complaint is that you can't combine on the go. You need to be at a maintenance room to make it happen. Once you've exhausted all the possibilities the mall has to offer, it's time to do a little exploring around Fortune City. Just like Vegas, you'll have no trouble finding casinos, hotels, and other shopping areas to visit, and all new hordes of zombies to polish off. With all these wide open spaces, Capcom went nuts stuffing them with poor undead bastards to kill. When we say more zombies, we're talking thousands upon thousands. Yeah, that virus is really contagious. Achoo! With zombies to maim, a daughter to save, and a mystery to solve, you'll probably want some help. That's why Dead Rising 2 now offers a 2-player online co-op mode. Invite a friend to your Monster Mash, and both of your Chuck Greens will be tag-teaming zombie fools left and right.
You need to pay attention out here.
With seemingly endless combinations of weapons to create, expansive new locations, and more undead than an accounting convention, Dead Rising 2 is truly an all-you-can-beat buffet that feels fresh. Now, if only we could say the same about the breath of all these zombies. Ooh. Let's face it, the planet is in trouble. One day, society will crumble, destroyed by legions of robot war machines. And it's just not easy being a girl in a post-apocalyptic world. But it can be even harder to be a man, named Monkey. The developers at Ninja Theory, known for PS3 launch title Heavenly Sword, are at it again. And they've set out to capture our attention with a cinematically driven action-adventure that takes us through a hauntingly beautiful post-apocalyptic landscape. So strap on your headband, climb aboard, and prepare to be enslaved. The last major title you guys worked on was Heavenly Sword, which was awesome. What did you learn from developing that game, and how is this game different?
We really just took stock of what we did on that game and wanted to make everything better. So, and explore new areas, because like Heavenly Sword was primarily a combat game, and we wanted a much rounder experience in Enslaved. So combat's maybe a third of the game, and the rest is puzzle solving, traversal. It's not relying on gimmicks, it's just about making the best possible gameplay experience and making that experience feel like it's part of an adventure.
What does it mean for the people of this world to be enslaved?
So the game is based on Journey to the West, which is a 400-year-old Chinese novel. And the setup for that is these two characters, Monkey and Tripitaka. So in this world, even though there's virtually no one left, there are still war machines left over from the last war. These war machines have no purpose at all, but if you trigger them, they wake up and they kill. Against this background, there are also these slave ships that come over from the west, and they capture people, they stick mind control headbands on them, and they ship them out west, and nobody knows why. And that's how we start the game, with Monkey and Trip as prisoners on this slave ship. When she gets enslaved by these slave ships and finds herself trapped, she manages to escape through her cunning. Monkey gets out because he's just a brute, so he punches his way out and gets off the ship that way. She notices that, and she thinks, I'm not going to survive in this world on my own. I need a guy like that to protect me. But she knows very well that a guy like that's probably going to kill her before protecting her. That's why she's smart enough to kind of take a slave headband, stick it on his head while he's unconscious, and reprogram it, forcing them to go on this journey together. He's effectively enslaved by her.
Get this thing off.
No.
You think I'm screwing with you?
You man, stop! Do you think you could tell me what the plan is?
To get you home as fast as possible so that you can take this thing off my head and I can break your neck.
I meant...
Yeah, I know what you meant.
As the player, you control Monkey, and priority number 1 is keeping Trip alive. Because if anything happens to her, that headband will pop your top like a used soda can. The city is littered with dangerous mechs, and traveling around does take some teamwork. Both of you can create diversions for the other in order to distract the baddies while planning out the next course of action. Trip can't go everywhere Monkey can, so you'll occasionally have to find some alternate routes to safely make way.
He knows how to deal with mechs and robots that are left over from the last war. She doesn't. She's totally scared and out of her element. But as the journey continues, she starts to come into her own, so she can use her knowledge by scanning mechs to find out where their weaknesses are, which means that you as Monkey can go in and dispatch these mechs that you've not been able to dispatch before.
Detecting a fault in that mech.
Monkey's primary weapon is a collapsible staff that he wields quite effectively, occasionally resorting to some ground and pound to tear the mechs limb from limb. This is where Trip's tech savvy really comes in handy, with the ability to upgrade Monkey's equipment and add powerful moves to his arsenal. You can also collect range charges from Monkey's staffs to get at those hard-to-reach robots. Alex Garland, who worked on 28 Days Later, is also working on the writing for the game. How did that partnership happen?
You know, as a studio, we've always thought one area of gaming that just is still far behind, like movies, is storytelling. So if you want to make a game that has like believable characters and dialogue and story, then it makes sense to go out and find a good writer. So his insight into storytelling, it's not just the dialogue, it's the way you set up cameras, it's the way you use music, it's the way you build tension through all these different ways.
Whoa. Just calm down and tell me exactly what happened. Don't bother, just it's dark. You can't fight it. Just keep still. Don't move and don't make a sound.
Now, what would all those cinematic efforts add up to if they weren't executed properly? That's where Andy Serkis, the performer behind the Lord of the Rings Gollum, comes into the picture.
Hey!
We didn't know at the time how to do performance capture, where you record the facial expressions, the voice, the body, and make the characters feel real when you're playing the game. And he brought that all to the table. So he's not only lead as Monkey, he co-directed the whole shoot with me, helped with the casting, and yeah, he's been invaluable.
Are you okay?
When you watch a movie, you know what the characters are thinking as opposed to what they're saying. You need to capture that emotion, and for that you need good actors. That's always been our philosophy, and that's something we're taking forward in Enslaved.
With strong foundational roots starting 400 years in the past and stretching into the most cutting-edge technology of today, Ninja Theory is throwing everything they've got into this explosive action quest. That being said, it looks like the apocalypse just can't come soon enough. When you think of geek paradise, Las Vegas probably isn't the first place that comes to mind. This city in the desert is best known for gambling, showgirls, and totally over-the-top entertainment. And while that side of Vegas can be a lot of fun, in moderation of course, we wanted to show you the Las Vegas that may appeal more to gamers like us. So get ready, we're headed to Las Vegas, baby, in On the Road with Qore. Some of you out there may be too young to remember a time before multiplayer console games were around, but back in the day, pinball reigned supreme at arcades all over the country. Here in Vegas lives one of the largest collections of pinball machines in the US at the recently relocated Pinball Hall of Fame. The hall houses both vintage and high-tech machines, as well as some of the most rare machines in existence, such as the Midway Pinball Circus, of which only a handful have ever been produced. Museum owner Tim Arnold has a serious passion for pinball.
Pinball only exists in the real world. It's a mechanical game, unlike the video games, which are just little child baby games that people play. This is the world's largest exhibited collection of pinball machines. We have 250 machines here that are completely rebuilt and ready to play.
Sounds innocent enough, but pinball was designed to make it fun to lose money. Sound familiar?
If you've ever watched people playing a slot machine, they sit there like zombies, just poking a button, making little grunting noises. The problem I've got with slot machines is that there's no skill to them. Pinball is very, very much a game of skill. It's a Zen-like thing. You have to become one with the machine.
Yes, become one with the machine.
Concentrate. Don't let the machine get the best of you. No! Okay, what the hell? It's all happening so fast.
Any other tips for us, Tim?
When you get done playing video games, you want to play a man's game, come and play pinball.
One obvious fact about Vegas, it gets hot. We're talking melt your face off hot. And if you can't take the heat, then it's time to seek shelter in a place filled with more water than should be legal in the middle of the desert, the Shark Reef Aquarium at Mandalay Bay. As the only predator-based aquarium in North America, you can have your very own Shark Week crammed into one day. Though sharks aren't the only residents here. From a golden crocodile to stingrays and jellies galore, there's no shortage of marine life to check out. Down here under the sea, it's easy to forget that you're in a baking hot desert. This was the perfect refreshing escape before we hit our next stop. If you think you're a total badass because you own noobs all over Modern Warfare 2 or MAG, think again. Here in Vegas, you can have a chance to fire off some of the biggest and baddest guns in real life. The gun store is one of the most popular firing ranges in the country, and they feature some weapons that are hard to find anywhere else in the US, like this Uzi, for example.
So why do people love shooting guns so much?
They see the guns on television, they play them on video games. There's nothing like doing the real thing. Shooting a real gun, a real machine gun, is a lot. It's unbelievable. It's undescribable, and I'm sure you're going to find out shortly.
I play a lot of first-person shooters. Am I well prepared for this kind of scenario?
A lot of the video gamers come in here and they actually know how the guns operate. They know how to operate them. But when you get in there with real recoil, real smoke, real bang, it adds a total different dimension to it all.
It's party time.
Now, I've never fired any kind of gun before, paintball, BB, or otherwise.
I can't hear anything.
But with the capable hands of the Godfather teaching me the ropes, the scariest part about firing off this Uzi for the first time was the noise.
The unique feature about this gun, it has a grip safety on it. So we don't want you to end up with a long burst. We want short, controlled burst.
I know that from video games.
All right. Okay, I'm going to load it.
Holy
that was two. There you go, just like that. There you go.
Up next, the M4.
Now we're going to step up a little bit.
Okay.
Got more of an evil zombie over here.
That's a Nazi zombie.
Nazi zombie. Now this one here is going to be significantly louder. All right?
Louder?
Okay, ready to go.
Holy God. Oh my God. That is so loud. Okay.
Though this one made me feel the most like I was living inside a first-person shooter, it wasn't my favorite. A little too heavy for me, and the butt kept trying to slip off my shoulder.
Woo!
Good. What'd you think of that one?
Oh, that was intense.
See how you got your Nazi zombie.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I missed his brain.
Gotta get the brain. Now we're gonna do the big guy.
Finally, the saw.
This is the M249 saw. It's very heavy, but you're not going to be shooting it. You're not going to be holding it. You're going to put it on a bipod, right? This is one of the few places in the world you can shoot one of these without having someone shoot back at you. It's a very rare gun.
I think this is going to be my favorite already.
Oh, this is not your favorite. This is my favorite. Okay, rock and roll. Time flies when you're having fun, isn't
That
it?
was awesome. I was just about to go for the brain, but I ran out of ammo.
Oh, look at him. Wow, look at that. This is really good.
Clearly, all the video games are really paying off. Get to the chopper! Now!
Las Vegas may have a reputation for being debauchery central, and that's definitely not without merit. But geeks can find plenty of activities that don't involve losing large sums of money into slot machines or at poker tables. Unless, of course, you develop a serious pinball addiction. Share your favorite off-the-beaten-path Vegas adventures with us on Twitter at twitter.com/Qore and on Facebook at facebook.com/QorePSN. Also, let us know which places you think we should visit in a future segment of On the Road with Qore. We'll see you next time.
That was way better than video games, guys. Hate to tell you. But the laser sight is very similar.
You broke my gun.
Welcome to the Qore Report. This is where we show you a bit about what goes on behind the scenes here at the Qore offices, highlight some community members, and tell you how you can become involved with the team. We've covered events in the past, but never anything quite as unique and geeky as Comic-Con.
Nerdgasm!
Held in San Diego this July, it featured a huge show floor filled with comics, toys, books, and yes, video games. It's also one of the only places we've seen a thriller reenactment performed by superheroes and zombies. Speaking of soulless ghouls, we also doubled down in Vegas to show you some cool things to do in Sin City when not gambling or partying. After Vegas, we kicked back and got our game on with Mafia 2. Considering Empire Bay, the city you're aiming to control, is partially based on our hometown of San Francisco, we were quite intrigued. Maybe the next time we hit the gun range, it'll be to try out one of the MP40s featured in the game. And don't forget to check out The Betrayal of Jimmy, the exclusive DLC for Mafia 2 on the PS3. Finally, a happy birthday to the PlayStation. It's a full-fledged teenager now, with the original console celebrating its 15th anniversary. To keep up with Qore online, make sure to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/Qore and Facebook at facebook.com/QorePSN. And keep sending in those box art contributions from Japan. This month we've got a whole new generator in On the Road with Qore, Las Vegas. So show us what you got, you creative geniuses, you.
It's party time!
Welcome to our gallery of our top Kyoto box art favorites. We asked you to use the box art generator from the last episode to make your own fictitious game. And once again, you blew us away. Here's the top 10. Number 10. Super Samurai Monkey and the Killer Birds of Death by Lucifer. Someone has to defeat those Killer Birds of Death, so it might as well be the Super Samurai Monkey. Number 9. Fire of the Beast Killer by OK Shadow Kitten. I always wanted to be a fire-breathing beast killer, or am I the beast? Either way, it's pretty badass. Number 8, Super Kitty Cat Killer by Raves475. Does this say Super Kitty Cat Killer or Super Cat Killer Kitty? I'm not sure, but I do love the monkey-bodied kitty. Aww. Number 7, Super Feast Hero Prison Rush by Damn Classic. I was totally into this box art just on the Super Feast Hero alone, but what really got me intrigued was the prison rush aspect. What kind of feast is that? Number 6, Princess Veronica's Journey of the Samurai Killer by MissCutie07. This one kind of reminds me of Heavy Rain a little bit, and it looks like Heather and I are in for some major mysteries. Number 5, Cat Rider, Journey of the Feast by Raygon. Everybody, follow the scary man with the cat head! He's taking us to a feast! Yeah, that's what he told me. Number 4, Samurai Kitty, Killer of Birds and Fish by Big Chief 61. Samurai kills the birds and fish. He kills them dead. Number 3, Journey of the She-Beast by Midget Guy. The she-beast stalks the streets looking for her next meal. Can you spot me in the picture, seeming pretty unfazed by the whole encounter? Number 2, Heavy Pencil Samurai by Nesferatu. The Heavy Pencil Samurai leaves his shrine when the lights go out and avenges the death of his brother, Lefty. Number 1, Fantastic Drunken Birds by Trip. Fantastic Drunken Birds is a psychedelic romp through the aviary, and the creative design of this box art flew it straight to our number 1 spot. Nice work, everyone! Feel free to continue posting your designs on our Facebook page at facebook.com/QorePSN and on Twitter at twitter.com/Qore.